Dear believers, what if you've been lied to about the Bible? What if for centuries the most important parts about Africa, those that put it at the heart of God's story, have been purposely ignored or played down? We've been told a story where Africa is just a far-off place, not important, or even a cursed land. But what if that story wasn't just missing pieces? What if it was used to excuse centuries of unfairness and being forgotten? This way of thinking has left deep scars. It has taken away the heritage of millions, making them believe that God had forgotten them. Yet the truth, written clearly in the pages of the Bible, is much more amazing and much more surprising. Today, we're going to uncover the parts that history chose to forget. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's going back to the text. It's an investigation to show Africa's central and prophetic place. Get ready, because what you're about to find out might just change everything. First, Africa, where it all began. To understand, we need to go back to the very beginning, to the start of humanity in the Garden of Eden. Most of us imagine this garden somewhere in the Middle East. However, the Bible itself gives us surprising geographic clues that point elsewhere. Let's read Genesis chapter 2 together. The text describes a river that flows out of Eden and splits into four. Two are known, the Tigris and the Euphrates. But what about the other two? Verse 13 is clear. The name of the second river is Gihon. It is the one that flows around the whole land of Cush. So, what is Cush in the Bible? This name is used dozens of times to refer to the kingdom south of Egypt, what we now call Ethiopia and Sudan. The prophet Jeremiah also asks, can a Cushite change his skin? Which is translated as an Ethiopian. Let's take a second to think about this. The story of our origins, the birthplace of humanity, is tied geographically to the African continent from the second page of the Bible. Africa isn't a continent discovered later. It's part of the original setting chosen by God. This isn't a small detail. It's the foundation on which everything else is built. To ignore this fact is to start reading having already ripped out an essential page. Is to put on the sidelines what God had placed at the center. Second, Africa, land of divine refuge. And it doesn't stop there. As we move through the Bible story, a powerful theme appears. Africa, and especially Egypt, as a place of refuge arranged by God. Think about it. When a terrible famine hits Canaan, where does Abraham find safety? In Egypt. Joseph, sold by his brothers, doesn't just survive in Egypt. He becomes the second most powerful man in the kingdom and saves his own family, the future leaders of Israel, from the famine. Egypt served as a safe place for the nation of Israel, allowing it to grow safely before the Exodus. But the strongest, most amazing example concerns Jesus himself. After the wise men visited, King Herod, mad with jealousy, ordered the killing of all baby boys in Bethlehem. Faced with this deadly danger, what did the angel tell Joseph? Let's read Matthew chapter 2. Get up, take the child and his mother, flee to Egypt, and stay there until I tell you. But why Egypt? Why Africa? It wasn't a random choice. It was a prophetic act. Matthew explains right after, so that what the Lord had said through the prophet would come true. Out of Egypt I called my son. God chose the African continent as a safe place to protect his own son. When evil threatened to put out the light of the world, it was African soil that served as a shield. Africa wasn't just a place to pass through. It was the tool of God's protection for the Messiah. And the African presence shows up even in the darkest moment. As Jesus, crushed under the weight of the cross, walks to his crucifixion, who do the Roman soldiers force to help him? Simon of Cyrene. Cyrene was a city in what is now Libya, in North Africa. So, an African literally shared the burden of the cross, physically taking part in humanity's path to salvation. Third, the prophecies. We've forgotten now. We get to the main point, to the divine prophecies that announce a glorious future for Africa. And these aren't hidden verses, but clear statements that people chose to ignore. Listen to this amazing prophecy from Psalm 68. Princes come from Egypt. Ethiopia hurries, hands stretched out to God. This isn't a picture of conquering. It's a vision of willing worship, a spiritual surge. The psalmist sees a time when Africa will turn to God with a special passion. But there's something even clearer. In the book of the prophet Zephaniah, it's God himself speaking. Listen closely to Zephaniah chapter 3 verse 10. From beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, my worshippers, my scattered ones, will bring me offerings. Let's break down these words. God calls them my worshippers, not strangers, not heathens, his people. Coming from where? From beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, meaning from the heart of the African continent. This is the promise that Africans are not latecomers to faith, but key players in the story of salvation, meant to bring their own unique offerings to God. How could such a strong promise be forgotten? How could this vision be replaced by ideas of being less important? Fourth, facing the lie of the curse of Ham. To understand, we must face one of the most damaging lies in history, a twisted reading of the Bible that was used to excuse slavery and racism, the supposed curse of Ham. The story is in Genesis. After the flood, Noah gets drunk. His son Ham sees him naked and tells his brothers. When he wakes up, Noah curses, and that's where the manipulation starts. For centuries, it was claimed that Noah cursed Ham and that this curse was black skin, thus condemning African people to slavery. But let's just read the text. Genesis 9 verse 25. Cursed be Canaan. May he be the lowest of servants to his brothers. The curse is not on Ham, it's on his son Canaan. And who are the descendants of Canaan? The people who lived in the promised land before Israel arrived, not all African peoples. In fact, Ham has three other sons: Cush, Ethiopia, Mizraim, Egypt, and Put, Libya. Not only are they not cursed, but as we've just seen, they are central and valued throughout the rest of the Bible. Saints, the idea that black skin is a curse is a complete made-up story. It's a betrayal of the Bible's words, a hateful idea built to excuse something terrible. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. himself called this interpretation blasphemy. By bringing back the truth of the text, we destroy the very basis of this lie. Africa is not cursed, it is blessed and chosen. Brothers and sisters, Africa's place in the Bible is not a small detail. It's a main part of God's story, from Genesis, where it's linked to the Garden of Eden, to its role as a safe place for Christ, to the prophecies that announce its spiritual awakening. Africa is there at the center. Understanding this truth is a spiritual healing. It's bringing back a dignity that was stolen. It's recognizing that millions of people on the African continent and in the diaspora are not new to faith, but the inheritors of a very old promise. The shocking truth isn't that Africa is in the Bible. It's that they try to make us believe the opposite. If this video has opened your eyes to a truth you'd never heard, then don't keep it to yourself. Share it so this secret can finally come out into the open. Subscribe to discover other truths that history would prefer you ignore. And tell me in the comments which part affected you the most. Together, let's keep seeking the truth. Thank you for listening, and may God protect you